Welcome back, wonderful humans. I'm Danielle, and I currently live alone and I'm trying to shift towards healthier meals whilst remaining on a budget. Here's what I ended up getting from Lidl this week. Not a huge amount, and it ended up coming in at just under £20 after any discounts. So, as you can see here, it all happens to actually fit into this shot at once, so there won't be any dodgy camera work from me later on. So I just got some raspberry jelly, two of those sachets. Just figured that if I did want a bit of a sweet treat or a dessert, I can have that and mix it in with a little bit of fruit or something for a bit of a snack one evening. Then I got some less healthy snacks. I got some potato sticks, some of the sour cream and onion ones. Again, as always, I do have tabletop on Saturday evenings, and this is when I did do my shopping. So I grabbed some of those for the evening, and then probably for a bit more of a snack on the Sunday as well. And then I got some cherry tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes worked out as being cheaper than the baby plum tomatoes. And given I normally do put them into cooking or just mixing them through with a little bit of salad, doesn't particularly make much difference to me to what they are. And I'd run out of natural yogurt. So I did get some more of that authentic Greek one, just because I do tend to use it in cooking, as well as sometimes having it mixed through with breakfasts and everything as well. Do just find that to help contribute to keeping me super full and making things obviously creamy as well. Then I decided to go back to the good old baby bells and I got some more of those light ones as a good snack, either during the day or obviously just even as a bit of an evening snack without it being too calorie heavy. And then on the opposite scale, again, decided to get some of these salami lunchbox minis. They're basically the equivalent of the pepperami ones, but Lidl's own brand, and therefore a lot cheaper. Like I said, they definitely aren't the best in terms of the percents of them for what they actually are. But I was getting a little bit bored of chicken and refrigerators, so I decided to get some of those instead. I then grabbed some golden breadcrumbs. There are sometimes some dishes that I do want to breadcrumb something, and whilst I do sometimes have bread in, I'm not necessarily the best at getting them finely sort of crumbed down. So I decided just to be a bit lazy and have a box of those for when I do want them. And talking of breaded things, I went and got some of this garlic and herb, some of the chicken Kievs that they have. And I figured that I might have one of those during the earlier bit of the week and then pop the other one into the freezer so that I do have it. But knowing me, I'll change my mind and I'll end up having both of them this week. And then I got a medium pumpkin. Figured this was definitely a decent size that I'll then be able to make up a nice big batch of soup or something. I figured I might use my large saute pan or something to make up some sort of pumpkiny type soup. And I got two more avocados just to have with something when I'm having lunches as part of obviously my work week. Either I do still have a small amount of bread left. I might honestly end up just doing something like some scrambled egg with some avocado on the side. I might even turn some of it into guacamole or something as well as part of a sauce for some pasta. Now I got some Brussels sprouts. I know it isn't quite Christmas yet, but I just wanted something like this because I'm able to obviously take the ends off of them and do things like chop them up, add a bit of oil and some seasoning on them, and put them into the air fryer with a few other veg. I just find that's actually super comforting. I do still have things like a sweet potato, some potatoes, and a carrot left. So I figured that might make for a nice mix at some point. And then I got some of the more expensive long life semi skim milk. And I got this one because they've changed the packaging on their Simply range and it no longer has one of the little lids. And it involves you just snipping it open and then you obviously have to pretty much use it straight away. So I got one of these because it did have the lid on. And luckily, I did happen to have a 15% discount on it as well. Certainly makes it a little bit less painful with having to spend a few extra pennies on it. And then I got a butternut squash. I'm thinking that I might chop some of this up and roast it up, pop it into the air fryer along with things like those sprouts. And then the rest of it I might use as part of a soup as well. It's definitely getting towards soup season. So I'm just thinking that I might make a few up and then put them into individual serving sizes into the freezer so that I can just defrost them as and when I want them. And fun fact, I'm getting my hair cut next week. So perhaps next week you won't end up seeing the odd bits of straggly hair in my videos. And then I also did get some mango chunks. Obviously, you can probably get them cheaper if you get them fresh and cook them yourself. But the thing is that then that involves me wanting to have a lot of mango in a pretty short space of time. I don't always want to do that, so I just got some of these to be able to add into breakfast, have as a snack, or even perhaps incorporate into some form of baking as well, or even into that jelly. But that's all that I got today. Like I say, it came in at just under £20 after discounts, which I think was pretty fantastic. So, as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Get involved in the comments below. I'd love to know what you ended up purchasing this week, where it is becoming more autumnal and sort of heading towards winter. And I'll see you again soon.